So good evening, everyone. My name is Paul Galbinski. I'm the dean here at the Oakland Schools Technical Campus Northeast, and we are so excited that you've joined us tonight for our Cosmetology Information Night. And as I said when we got started, if you haven't had the opportunity, please make sure you go to the chat and that you click on the link in there to sign in so that we have you recorded, that you were in attendance, and we also then can get the PowerPoint of this presentation out to you this evening. So here we are talking about what is career and technical education. So it's the combining of strong academic knowledge with technical skills. And that combination definitely gives students a competitive advantage in the future. We are an extension of your high school that prepares you for high demand, high skill, high wage careers. What's the winning equation? Well, we take the academics at your respective high schools. We've probably got people representing every school in the county. We add that to the technical skills from career and technical education that you would gain here at the campus, and that equals the competitive advantage for each and every one of our students as our OSTC winning equation.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Randy Maddock. I'm the counselor at the Oakland Schools Technical Campus Northeast. Oakland County actually has 4 technical campuses, one in each of the quadrants. We're housed at the Northeast campus located in Pontiac. We've got a Northwest campus up in Clarkston, a Southeast campus down in Royal Oak, and a Southwest campus over in Wixom. However, cosmetology is only offered at one campus, and that is the Northeast campus in Pontiac, sort of centrally located in Oakland County. And again, the address of the Northeast campus is 1371 North Perry Street. We'll talk a little bit more about this later this evening, but you are going to want to know where we're located because it is important once in a while to make a drive over to the Northeast campus so you know where the cosmetology program is located. You're obviously here tonight to learn about the cosmetology program, and we've got a lot of information to share with you regarding cosmetology. However, maybe you've got another student at home, or maybe a niece, nephew, neighbor that's interested in a program besides cosmetology. So at the Northeast campus, we actually have 11 CTE programs, 11 of those technical programs that Mr. Galbinski talked about. We've got automotive technology, collision repair and refinishing, computer programming, construction technology, obviously, again, cosmetology. You're here to learn more about tonight, but we also have a culinary arts and hospitality program, engineering, robotics, and mechatronics, entrepreneurship and advanced marketing, health sciences, machining, and welding. So maybe you only knew about the cosmetology program and you weren't aware of some of these other CTE programs. So again, be aware that we are housing other programs at the Northeast campus for maybe relatives or other youngsters that might be in your family. You'll want to make sure and take this date down, December 2nd, 2021. It's a couple of weeks from now. Maybe you want to take a picture of this slide, actually. This is our next virtual event at the Northeast campus, and you'll want to make sure and come back again on December 2nd. It'll be different information, but again, you'll have an opportunity to speak with some of our cosmetology teachers and get some more detailed information again that evening. But again, our building is holding the entire career night that evening, where you can get information on all of those programs. You see the QR code at the bottom, you see a bit.ly link at the bottom, and you'll want to make sure and put that December 2nd date on your calendar to come back for another opportunity for one of our enrollment activities. But again, tonight we're featuring the cosmetology program. This is actually one of our former students from a few years back. that was participating in a fantasy hair and makeup competition. And we're going to get started with our cosmetology information night. So before that, I want to really set the stage. Why do we hold an information night strictly for cosmetology students? So just so you understand, each year we're able to enroll 80 students into the cosmetology program. Now, 80 might sound like a lot of students, and it is. However, we have students from over 40 different high schools across Oakland County that want to get into the cosmetology program. So what we do is we give priority to current 10th grade students that are going into their junior year. Many of you, most of you tonight are currently 10th graders. And by being present this evening, it's going to help you, although still may not guarantee getting into the cosmetology program. That same thing on December 2nd, attending that night is going to help, although still may not guarantee a student's enrollment into the cosmetology program. But we take advantage of a lot of different opportunities where we can see how serious and how interested students are in committing to the cosmetology program.
Thank you, Mr. Maddox. So it's very important. All of our programs have this, but we want to talk a little bit about the career tree. Pivotal role inside of our program. Down in the roots, very important. We talked about academics that you'll be able to get and combine from your home school. The many, many experiences you're going to have here at the campus as a student. Professional skills are listed as what some people will call soft skills. Positive personal brand, integrity, critical thinking, problem solving, adaptability. We teach those, student assessed on those, and we actually have that as a percentage of a student's grade. And so very, very important that we have strong roots in those professional skills. And obviously, students here, when we're looking at cosmetology, must be passionate for whatever career that it is that you're working towards. So you can see there's entry level, technical career levels, and professional careers. And I don't know how many gamers we have out there, but we always want to know, how do we unlock the next level? Well, entry level careers are areas of things that you can do while you're here in the program, and unlock that next level to get to the technical, meanings that we need to have some certifications. So right out of here, when you get your certification, you automatically move up into that technical area where you're a licensed state cosmetologist. You could have be a skincare specialist, nail care, entrepreneurship, salon owner. You could be a salon manager. And then moving up to that other level of the tree, the professional careers. How do you unlock it? Again, further education, further credentialing. You could have an idea where you'd be a certified teacher. You might be a research and development coordinator. You might be a product design consultant. So just a very, very small sampling of the different careers that you can pursue while you are gaining the knowledge here, earning your cosmetology license, and then moving into the world of post-secondary education.
Hi, I'm Miss Heath. I'm one of the cosmetology instructors. Glad to see all your faces tonight. Lots of you. Always makes me happy. This is just a list of our instructors and instructional technicians. Miss Bilecki, myself, Miss Heath, Antoinette Lockett, Annie Tomshak, Nicole Kameza, and Shelley Pierce. And all 6 of us are cosmetology instructors. Upon obtaining your 1,500 hours, you'll be able to work alongside professionals in a interactive salon and spa. Even when you're getting to your 1,500 hours, you'll be working in a salon, provided they open. We have a salon in our building. You'll be using advanced salon techniques to provide a full range of hair, nails, and skincare services. You'll be creating artistic designs and using the latest technology trends and brand name products. We just got a whole lot of brand new top of the line products. You'll have to earn 1,500 hours in order to sit for your state board exam. 980 hours are spent doing hair. This is just kind of to give you a general idea. Sometimes the kids will ask, how come we have to do this so many times? And I mean, practice makes perfect, but by law, we are required to have each student complete 980 hours of hands-on hair, 115 hours of skincare, and 90 hours of nail care. So you can see there's quite a big difference in here. Years ago, we were having some students come to our program because they wanted to do makeup, but this is not the place to come if you just want to do makeup, because you really don't even need a license to do makeup. When we talk about skincare, that's esthetician. So we're talking about being in a spa, doing facials and skincare. But a majority of our hours are spent doing hair. The rest of the hours we focus on sanitation, a lot of sanitation, chemistry, electricity, anatomy, and business concepts. So here's where your 1,500 hours will come from. The first session you come to would be the summer before school starts, and you'll be coming for 112 hours. It's 16 days and it's 7 hours a day. When you come back in the fall in September, it'll be 2.5 hours a day. Your junior year, you will have earned 457.5 hours. The next summer, you'll come back again for 16 more days and you'll receive another 112 hours. And then when you're a senior, you'll be coming to our school for 5 hours a day. So you'll be coming to the PM session for 2.5 hours a day. And then you'll be going to extended day from 150 to 420 for the rest of the day. So that equals 5 hours a day. The PM session again is 457 hours, and then the extended day, you'll earn 432.5 hours. So all of these hours equal 1571.5 hours. So you can see there's not a lot of wiggle room here. There's only 71.5 hours to spare for, I think, there's another slide coming up to talk about this more in depth, right? So those are the hours.
This is the slide that Ms. Heath was referring to. So just to give you an idea, sample school calendar. So you can see here that in the summer of 2022, when you would be starting before your junior year in the fall, there's 112 hours possible. Then you can see month by month all the way through there. The most important part is what Ms. Heath said. You have 71.5 hours beyond the minimum of 1,500 hours required to be utilized for an absence during the summer of 2022, during the school year of 22-23, your junior year, during the summer before your senior year of 2023, and then of course your senior year 2023-2024. So that is 71.5 hours has to be utilized, saved in your bank, distributed across all of those various segments of the 1,500 hour program. If you're not physically present and not in proper uniform with your ID and badge, you simply don't earn hours. These are LARA rules. These are rules by the state of Michigan. The Cosmetology Board sets these forth, and those are what it is that we must follow. So think about these 71.5 hours as dollars in the bank. You're only going to receive one deposit, and you've got to make that last until you graduate in June of 2024. There's not an additional deposit of hours that occur your senior year. So when you start the program, you have 71.5 in the bank. So daily attendance is paramount in order to get to the required 1,500 hours to allow you to be eligible for the state board exam. So every day you're absent in summer of 2022, withdraw 7 hours out of the bank. Every day you're absent during your junior year, withdraw 2.5 hours. Every day you're absent for the summer of 2023, take out 7 hours per day that you're not there. And then your senior year, there's a withdrawal of 5 hours of every day that you're not here. So you need to plan. You need to plan during your junior year, because there's going to be days that you're going to be out in spring for SAT and MME testing that's required. There'll be a total of 7.5 hours withdrawn out of your bank automatically when you have that for the testing. So during your senior year, you're going to want to plan for those days and want to participate in your senior activities. So just to be clear, there's 71.5. If you have excellent attendance, you're going to do just fine, because that is what the requirements are to reach 1,500, and the wiggle room is 71.5. So here's a sample of what we would take a look at. So I'm going to briefly go through here. Take a look at summer 2022. Well, there was 112 hours that were possible, but oh, we see an asterisk. There's only 105 earned. Then we take a look at September. Oh, there were some hours there, but you only earned 47.5. No issues in October, November, December, January, February, March, everything's great. Oh, we take a look at April. There was 47.5, but there was only 40 that was available. Had great attendance in May and June. So when you take a look at this, we earned 555 hours out of 572. So that means that we had 17 hours that were withdrawn from our bank. That leaves us at the top right square. You have 54.5 hours available for the summer of 2023 and then your entire senior year. So that kind of gives you an example of what happened. So let's go take a look at the asterisks at the bottom right box. Okay, asterisk, 1 day of summer school missed. Well, that's 7 hours that you withdraw from the bank because you didn't come. Oh, 1 day you missed of school. That was Tuesday, your junior year after Labor Day. You didn't come. That's 2.5 hours that were taken away. Oh, then you had 3 days of state testing required. So when you look at that, 7.5 hours. So that adds up to a total of 17 hours missed and deducted from your hours bank. So that leaves you 54.5, still in a good setting to get through the summer and then through your senior year. So very, very important you understand that attendance is key in order to be successful to get to those 1,500 hours.
One of the things that I always tell students and parents, just to reiterate what Mr. Galbinski just said, students really need to have near perfect attendance, okay? Just remember those words, near perfect attendance during 2 summer school sessions, during the junior year and during the senior year in order to meet the state requirements. So again, you've heard the number 1,500 now for the last 6 or 7 slides. That 1,500 is sort of the magic number. That's what's required in order for students to sit for their state board exam. So when students do complete their 1,500 hours, they're able to go take their state board exam, and that consists of 2 parts. The first part is a hands-on part. It's a practical exam. Once students pass that, then they're able to go on and take the written part of the exam. After students pass that state board exam, they are now licensed cosmetologists through the state of Michigan. They earn their license through the Department of Labor as a state licensed cosmetologist. So they're able to go right into a salon and start working with clients on hair, nails, and skincare services. The other good thing about having this cosmetology license is that that license does equate to some free college credits at some different colleges in the area. I have 2 examples listed here in the PowerPoint, Schoolcraft College and Mott Community College. They each have a salon management business degree. And so again, once a student has that license from the state of Michigan, students are able to take that license in and actually they're awarded free college credits toward a salon management business degree at these 2 schools. Now, what happens if students don't reach the magic number of 1,500 hours? Then what? Well, then they have to finish their cosmetology training at a private beauty school, a private cosmetology school. And if you're not familiar, those are high tuition, private for-profit schools. Some students could get a lower cost private cosmetology school, might be around $20,000, but some of these are closer to $30,000. The one thing that I always tell students and parents, these are businesses. They're for-profit, and so their goal is to make profit. So when students do not finish their 1,500 hours in high school through the technical campus, they then have to transfer to one of these places to finish their hours. And again, these places are going to charge tuition, and their goal is to make a profit. So even if a student had 1,100 hours, some of these schools may only grant 200 or 300 hours and force the student to pay those remaining hours, because again, that's what is going to help these schools make their profit. I'm going to have Miss Heath now talk about the summer school program. You'll most likely see her during the summer.
The summer session hours are Monday through Friday, 7 hours a day, 8 o'clock to 3 o'clock p.m. There's a 30-minute lunch, and it is a closed campus, so you'll have to bring your lunch with you. Not allowed to let you leave the campus. There's two options, option A and option B. Option A is June 21st through July 13th, and then there's no school July 4th. That one usually fills up right away. So if anybody was interested in that one, I would probably get on the ball signing up for that one. And then option B is July 14th through August 4th. Same thing, 8 o'clock to 3 o'clock, 30-minute lunch. And it's a closed campus. Spots will be limited on a first come, first served basis in March or April. So students may enroll either in option A or in option B, but not both. If cosmetology summer sessions are held virtually, then all students will be enrolled in option B from July 14th through August 4th.
One thing that I want to mention too regarding the registration of summer school sessions, again, that bottom bullet, students will start finding out end of February, beginning of March, mid-March, whether or not they get into the program. And so as soon as you're notified that you have a spot, that's when you're able to register for one of those summer school sessions. But it'll be very important as students start being notified that they've got into the program, that's when you're going to want to sign up for one of those summer school sessions to make sure that you get into the session you want. I'm going to talk next about credits. Obviously, we said that this is an extension of your high school. And so in addition to earning hours toward a state license, students are also earning credits toward their high school graduation. So in cosmetology, Ms. Heath mentioned the amount of science that actually is covered in the cosmetology program. She talked about some basic chemistry, some basic electricity, some anatomy, some microbiology, diseases of the hair, nails, and skin. So students actually earn a science credit through the cosmetology program. It does not fulfill their biology requirement. It does not fulfill their chemistry or physics requirement. You still need to do those two science classes through your high school, but state requires a third credit in science, and this can fulfill that third credit in science. There's a lot of different options that students can take, fill their science requirement, that third credit, and this is one of those through cosmetology. Also, a student can fulfill their senior math requirement through cosmetology. Again, students must complete Algebra 1, Geometry, and Algebra 2 back at their high schools. Those are state laws. But in a student's senior year, there's a lot of different math-related courses and math-related programs that students can take, and cosmetology is one of those. So as long as a student has completed Algebra 1, Geometry, and Algebra 2, they can use cosmetology to fulfill their senior math requirement. Some other academic requirements that can be fulfilled through cosmetology for students that don't come to the tech campus, the state requires all students to have 2 credits of a foreign language. Well, students that come in to cosmetology or any one of our CTE programs, they can actually swap out one of those credits of foreign language by participating in a CTE program. So instead of doing 2 years of a foreign language, they really only need to do 1 year, and the second year is exchanged for cosmetology or one of the other CTE programs. There is a way to work with the Algebra 2 requirement through the technical campuses. The student's high school counselor can work with them on that. Cosmetology also fulfills their VPAA requirement. It's a visual performing and applied art. And I don't think any students need to worry about their online learning experience anymore. The last 2 years, you've had plenty of online learning experiences, but cosmetology does fulfill that during a normal year because they are using a lot of different online programs in cosmetology. So again, in addition to hours, the credits do count toward students' high school graduation and do count toward their high school diploma. Ms. Heath's going to talk now about the professional student organization that students can participate in.
There is, skills is my favorite thing. The students will have an opportunity to join Skills USA, which is a great leadership program. You'll have a opportunity to compete against different schools in the area, and then possibly move on to compete with different schools in different states. And then possibly you'll go to nationals and compete against different states. Then there's World, right? I think it's World, or maybe called I don't know. I think it's called Skills World. You can go compete against different countries too. But it's a lot of fun. There's different levels of competition. The students always love it. The first competition is held on campus, but if you make it to states, then we usually go away to Grand Rapids for the weekend. And then one year, well, a couple years, we went to Nashville, and one was, I think, Atlanta. This right here, these are former students in the picture who made it to nationals. These are two more students, Jenny with the blue hair and Brittany. They made it to nationals. I think Jenny placed 3rd in the nation, and Brittany was her model. And that's them accepting their awards. This is Jenny's artwork. Jenny is now one of our advisors for our advisory board. She works in a really, really nice salon. Her work is beautiful. This is Brittany, another student who she turned into a lion. Another few students of ours during career night, Mr. Maddock mentioned December 2nd. We usually have a fantasy competition, and the students form teams. We'll have a theme. I can't remember what this theme was, but one theme was movie stars, one was singers. There's Michael Jackson, and they compete. Usually the whole building ends up down at our end of the building watching the judging on these, because it's pretty cool. The girls do the hair, makeup, and nails for these, and it's really, really a fun night. Get to show off their mad skills. Tiger and a lion. And this is more of career night. This year it's virtual, and there's Kennedy. She's turning into the Grinch. That was really cool at the end. Here's some expenses covered by Oakland schools. In order for you to even sign up for cosmetology, there's a processing fee through the state for $15, and we pay for that. There's a licensing background check fee. We pay for that, it's $48. And then if you pass all of your tests with a 75% or higher, then we will pay for your state board exam, which is huge. It's $167. We pay for that the first time around. These are optional expenses, so we will supply you with your first smock. But if you wanted an additional smock, you can buy one for $30. The yearly fee for Skills to join Skills USA is $14. And then an optional state board kit. Right now, the price is around $475. Of course, the left-handed kit is more, no clue why. But this is optional. We do supply you with everything you need to complete our program.
So I want to take a few minutes now and talk about the application process. Obviously, we've shared a lot of information about the program, the benefits. Obviously, the cost is just a huge benefit. Want to make sure that everyone understands the application process to at least start process of getting into the program. So at the top of your screen right now, you'll see our website. It's www.OSTC-online.com. If you go to that website and scroll to the bottom of the screen, you'll see in very big letters, start your journey, apply for 22-23 school year. So you'll click on that big rectangle and it will take you to a screen that looks like this. And again, it obviously stands out in the Oakland schools blue and green color, and that big blue box will cover the entire middle of your screen that will say apply now. Once you click apply now, it'll take you to the first step of the application. And you can see it's very easy. The only things required are the student's first name, the student's last name, an email address, and then the student will create a username and a password for the online application. Obviously, it's very important to make sure the first and last names are spelled correctly. And obviously, very important that the email address is also correct, because this will be a way that students are notified that they get into the program. Once they go to the next step of the application, they'll select their current high school. So all high schools in Oakland County are listed there in alphabetical order. Once you select the high school, it will self-populate the campus. Now, it may not necessarily say Northeast Campus, but as long as you select the cosmetology program, I will get it at the Northeast Campus. But sometimes that causes a little confusion because one of the other 3 campuses will initially populate there, but later on when you select cosmetology, I will get your application. You'll enter your current grade level, you'll enter your date of birth, and in this white box, it's very important to explain why you want to get into the cosmetology program. Again, we only have 80 spots available. We had 113 people, I think, on tonight's Zoom. So there's always students that don't get into the cosmetology program. And this is one of the areas that we do look at. Just give a brief explanation of why you want to get into the cosmetology program. The next page, again, very important. You'll be entering the student's phone number, the student's mailing address. And again, please make sure that the house number, the street name, the city is spelled correctly. Make sure you enter the correct zip code. And then students will enter just information from one parent or guardian. Could be the mother, father, again, a step parent, just one parent or guardian. You'll enter their first and last names, again, making sure they're spelled correctly, a phone number, an email address, and again, please make sure that those are entered correctly. Finally, this is the page where you'll identify that you want to get into the cosmetology program. You'll list that as your first program choice. Notice there is a spot where you can select a second program choice. Now, if you don't get into cosmetology, if there's no other programs that you're interested in, that's one of the options. You can put no second choice. However, sometimes students might select like our entrepreneurship and advanced marketing program, where they could at least do some business concepts and some business planning for a future salon or as a future cosmetologist. But again, you're going to want to make sure and identify your first and second program choice. This is probably the most important part, the very last page. There's a little white box you have to check, and you do have to click on that submit button. If you don't submit your application, your high school counselor will not know that you're interested, and us at the technical campus will not know that you're interested. You need to make sure on this very last part to check that little white box and click on the blue submit button. Again, one of the other things that you'll want to make sure to do on December 2nd is join us again for that virtual career night. It's another night that we're going to take attendance and find out who truly is interested in getting into the cosmetology program. The more events that you attend, the more points that you accrue, and you move your way up on the list of possibilities as far as getting enrolled. So again, there's that QR code at the bottom of the screen. There's a bit.ly link. You can see cosmetology. We'll have presentations at 4:50, again at 5:50, and it will be some new information because again, tonight we've given you just a lot of the nuts and bolts regarding the program. One of the barriers to cosmetology is oftentimes getting to Pontiac. As we said at the very onset of tonight's program, the cosmetology program is offered at the Northeast campus in Pontiac. If you attend one of these 5 districts, Avondale, Lake Orion, Oxford, Pontiac, or Rochester, those students send a bus every day to the Northeast campus. The reason for that is those districts where their home technical campus. They're sending students to our campus for all CTE programs. So if you attend one of those 5 districts, a bus will come to our building every single day. Unfortunately, that's not the case for most of Oakland County. If you're from the Northwest quadrant, Brandon, Clarkston, Holly, Waterford, none of those districts will send a bus down to the Northeast campus. Students would be responsible to getting down to Pontiac and back to their high school on a daily basis. The reason for that, cosmetology is an elective program. So schools aren't required to provide a bus to the Northeast campus. So again, Brandon, Clarkston, Holly, Waterford, it can be quite a hike, which again is why I wanted you to have our address early on, because parents and students, it may benefit you to make a drive down to the Northeast campus to see what a daily commute would look like. These students from our southwest part of Oakland County have never provided a bus to the Northeast campus. Clarenceville, and actually Clarenceville students typically aren't even able to enroll just because the distance is so far. The Huron Valley District, both Lakeland High School and Milford High School, Novi, South Lyon, Walled Lake, West Bloomfield. Again, these districts are going to require students to provide their own transportation. Since cosmetology is an elective program, these districts have never provided a bus to the Northeast campus. You would be responsible for your own transportation. Down in our southeast quadrant, these districts have never provided a bus. Berkeley, Hazel Park, Lamphere, Madison, Oak Park, Royal Oak. Again, they view cosmetology as an elective program, so students responsible for their own transportation. Now, these districts have provided a bus some years. And so again, as parents, as students, I would recommend consulting with your high school counselor, maybe the high school administration, to see what their plans are regarding next year. Birmingham has sent a bus to the Northeast campus in previous years. This year, Bloomfield Hills is sending a bus to the Northeast campus. Clawson has always been supportive of their students in cosmetology. Farmington, Ferndale, Southfield, Troy. Again, these students in previous years have sent a bus, but again, some other years they haven't. So you would need to check with your student's high school counselor or high school administration regarding their plans for next year. So regarding planning, it's very important to start planning with your high school counselor. You need to let your counselor know if you want to attend cosmetology, because again, limited availability. We only accept 80 students every year. We always have students from 40 or more different high schools that want to enroll. And again, oftentimes transportation and the distance to Pontiac oftentimes is a barrier. Again, completing that online application as soon as possible at OSTC-online.com is going to let your high school counselor know of your interest. It will also let us know at the technical campus of your interest. Again, filling that out does not make any guarantees that you will get into the program. Couple of dates that you might want to just pencil in, hoping that you do get in. April the 28th, 2022. That's a night that we're going to be welcoming all of our new incoming students. We call it signing day. That's a night where students will be able to meet their actual teacher and at least start that relationship building. All of our new students will be welcomed the evening of April 28th. And then on May 18th, that will be orientation for our new students and new parents who have been accepted into the cosmetology program for next school year. So again, maybe just take a picture of this slide, pencil those dates into your calendar. Again, keeping fingers crossed that, that your student does get a spot in the cosmetology program. At this time, we've gone through our formal presentation. Again, I know many of you have already been emailing with me back and forth. My email, my direct phone number is listed there on the screen. If you have other questions of Mr. Galbinski as our principal, his email address is listed there on the screen as well with the number. And I'm going to go back to the beginning of the presentation where you can see Miss Heath's email address, because you can reach out to any of our cosmetology teachers, because all of them would be happy to email with you as well regarding any questions.